In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up your own autocrafting and applied Energistics too. Now, just before we get started, you need a fully functioning Me network. So if you don't have that, there is a video waiting for you in the description down below. Okay, so let's get started with this autocrafting. What you need to do from your Me controller, you need to build a free high Fluix cable. On the Fluix cable, you need to either place 2 or 3 terminals, right? I'll explain why 2 or 3 in a second. So first of all, we need a Me terminal. Now, depending on how you access your network, you might or might not need this. So in this case, I already have a wireless terminal. So me placing this terminal is technically useless, okay? So as I said, depending on how you access your network, you might not need this. Okay, so then what we need is we need a Me pattern access terminal and a Me pattern encoding terminal. Now, basically, both of these are very important, so you actually do need both of these. The Me pattern access terminal allows you to access your basically patterns or your crafting instructions, and your Me pattern encoding terminal is important because this is where you basically craft your instructions, as I'll show you later on. Then from your Me controller, now make sure that you only do this from the Me controller. Do not connect it to a Me drive or anything else, only to the Me controller. Connect a dense cable. Make sure it is a dense cable as it requires a lot of channels the more you expand your network. Now, in the previous tutorial about AE2, I showed you how to use chests. So what you might have is you might have like chests connected or something connected. I would actually recommend choosing another phase. Remember that your Me controller has a lot of phases, as you can see, every single point, right? So as you can see, this is a phase, this is a phase, underground is a phase, right? Or the bottom is a phase. So I would highly recommend to choose another phase of the Me controller because you might run out of the channels. Alternative is to literally use a Me drive, but the Me drives are very expensive to craft or time consuming to craft if you don't have the correct resources. So now obviously if you run out of the phases and for example you already have used all of them, so don't forget that you can literally craft weird shapes with these basically controllers. Okay, so as I said, choose another phase and let's continue. Put dense cables, only use dense cables because they have 32 channels, right? And it is important that you have lots of channels to spare. Then what you need to do is you need to place either some kind of crafting storage. It doesn't really matter, but the more the better, right? So if you type in crafting storage, there is basically 1K, 4K all the way to 256. I would recommend as much as possible, but if you're just starting out, I would say between 1 to 16K crafting storage is more than enough. And then what you also need is a co-crafting co-processing unit, or basically CPU. Then from there, connect your CPU with a cable and basically build something like this. Let me actually build this so you guys don't get confused. So to build this, we need a Me pattern provider and a molecular assembler. So build as follows. Place your pattern provider, molecular assembler, pattern provider. And basically we're building like a chessboard, right? Here, molecular assembler, pattern provider, molecular assembler, boom, right? Boom and boom. And you can obviously expand this as much as you want, so you can build it higher. And oh, I actually built it wrong. So basically what you see is you just need to switch to the other item. I'm getting confused myself because I'm trying to do it too fast. Okay, now why should you build it as high or as big as possible? Well, because if you come to our access terminal, as you can see, it gets bigger and bigger the more we expand it. So if I destroy this and I leave it like basically leave it like this, as you can see, we're only able to put this much. I think this is 18, right? It should be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So this is 18 maximum patterns that we can use, right? So the more you place, right? So this should be 27 now, right? Yep, there should be 27. So the more you place, the more patterns you will be able to basically have. Okay, so once you get this set up, let me just show you how to put instructions to craft items. Right, to craft your basically instructions, or basically tell your network what to craft, is you need the Me pattern encoding terminal. Once you come here, as you can see, I have something called blank pattern. Now, I recommend crafting them literally as much as possible. What we can actually do is we can get a crafting recipe for this. So as an example, let's say that I want to automate blank patterns, right? So what we need to do is we need to get the blank pattern recipe. And as you can see, it basically shows us that it is working. Now, just before you proceed, make sure that you're happy with the items that it is going to use. You can use something called substitutions. However, the substitutions don't really work. I've had a problem where I couldn't craft pistons because instead of using cobblestone, I was using something else. So the best strategy here is to literally just check the items and just replace it if you want to use something else. Then all you need to do is just press encode pattern. And as you can see, if you actually press shift or press P, actually, if you press P, as you can see, it actually shows you, right? If you press shift, it also shows you, but in this case, it doesn't work. Sometimes it generally doesn't work. So if you press P on the pattern, it actually shows you what it is responsible for. If you hover over, it also tells you crafts 2 times blank pattern. Now this pattern, all you need to do is just put it into the pattern access terminal, right? So if I put it here, it actually tells you. Now this is very, very useful to have this pattern access terminal, because if you don't have it, then you need to physically come to the Me pattern provider and put all your patterns here. Now, as you may see by the design and overall, it is very not efficient. Like, it's technically the worst decision you can make. So definitely use the Me pattern access terminal, because this saves time and it is probably the best decision that you can make, right? Later on, when you progress, you can get something called a wireless access terminal, right? As you can see, wireless pattern access terminal, and you can do the same with wireless encoding terminal. If you open up your terminal, or you basically come to the Me terminal, as you can see now, the blank pattern, there is a plus, right? As long as you don't have any blank patterns, I mean, even if you actually do, but you can't craft any, there is a plus. Now, once they run out, you can craft them, right? So as you can see, I'm going to press 1, press next. And remember to have items in your Me network. You cannot have them in your inventory. You need to have them in your Me network. So press start. And as you can see, within seconds, I got my blank patterns crafted. And literally, this is all you need to do. Right, so as an example, let's say that I want to craft diamond pickaxes automatically. Let's clear this. Let's put our diamonds. Let's put our sticks. And as you can see, a diamond pickaxe has appeared. Now, all I need to do is press encode, put it into my pattern access terminal, and now I should be able to craft diamond pickaxes, as you can see, wham bam bam. If you come to the pattern encoding terminal, as you can see, there is a couple of options. Now, these options are basically just what they sound like. So crafting is obviously crafting, stone cutting is literally you can stone cut something. Smithing template is if you want to upgrade something, for example, from diamond to netherite, so this will do it automatically for you. The only interesting option here is processing pattern, and I'm actually going to show you how you can, for example, crush something automatically with mechanism and AE2. Right, so let's say that we want to automatically crush diamonds. So let's put a cable, let's put a pattern provider, on top we're going to put a crusher. Now, unfortunately, AE2 does not provide any power or electricity to machines, so we need to do it by hand. In this case, I'm just going to use an energy cube. Then what we need to do is we need to head to the pattern encoding terminal, basically enter processing patterns, put a diamond, and we also need to put the end result. So in this case, because we're crushing it, we're going to get the diamond dust. So put the diamond and diamond dust. Encode it, take this, put it in the pattern access terminal. Now, do not put it in the molecular assembler, put it in the crusher, okay? Now, basically, this is technically halfway done. There's just actually one more thing we need to do. Then we just need to come to the crusher, right? So right click on the crusher, site configuration, and from the items, we just need to change eject on. So press this, auto eject, and then on the bottom, so on the pattern provider, just press input and output, So now when I request the diamond dust to be produced, it will actually produce it and automatically export it back into the network. And as you can see, the diamond dust got basically created and it's right back in the inventory, right? So perfect. Right, I hope I helped you guys out. If you can subscribe to my channel, that will be awesome, as I'm trying to build a Minecraft community. Obviously, if you want to see more Minecraft content, I will be posting regularly. And thank you for watching, and peace.